Hello everybody and welcome to another Journal With Me video. In today's video, I am actually continuing a challenge that I started over the weekend during one of my YouTube live videos. It actually did save, so if you're interested in watching a super long chatty video, just to have something playing in the background, I will link that down below so that you can have that video. But in that video, I challenged myself for the month of April to use my my Stationery Bento box. Sorry, I was having like a mini stroke there. I could not get my tongue to work with my brain. But I decided to challenge myself in April to use my Stationery Bento box from Sora Ahsan. And I know that it had gotten pretty popular last year in the fall and winter. And I know that there was some pre-orders done and it got really popular really quickly with the thanks of some YouTube viral videos of people unboxing their boxes. One of my videos being that video. And unfortunately, well not unfortunately, but very fortunately, Miss Shelley, who owns Sora Ahsan, the business that makes these boxes, became so inundated that she had to, I guess, put a stop to taking any more orders. So I do apologize, but you cannot currently, as of April 9th, I think today is. Let me make sure that's a fact. Yeah, April 9th, 2020. I do not believe she is currently taking orders for any more bento boxes. I am not an employee. I do not have anything to do with her business. I'm not an ambassador or anything like that. I just happen to be one of the lucky people that got a box. And I don't know what she's planning to do in her future. So if you would like to watch this video and see how I am using some of the supplies from my bento box, I encourage you to stay because it's a good one. I'm not trying to be like boastable, but I really loved how this came out. And I just love the supplies in this box. They're just very beautiful and dainty and just lovely. And I am having a hard time with hoarding the box because it is so beautiful and I've not really used it a bunch. I've used it a few times, but I am just straight up challenging myself to use the supplies from this box for April. So if you have this a stationery bento box, or if you have supplies that you have been hoarding forever because you just love them so much you can't stand to even use them, this is your challenge. I am challenging you to use them in the month of April because it's just not fair to have the things just sitting there. So that being said, if you're going to participate, please comment below and let me know, or send me a message over on Instagram because I would love to be able to see what you're creating with your bento box because as I understand it, not every single one of them is the same. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure she was trying to personalize them at one point. So I would just love to see what everybody is doing with their boxes and the supplies that they have received in their box. If you did not get one, still challenge yourself to use supplies that you have hoarded. I would love to see those as well. So I'm using some florals, obviously, because it's springtime and my plants are starting to bloom and I'm starting to see lots of beautiful flowers and I'm just loving it. So I am just using all the beautiful flowers that I can find in this box and all the beautiful colors in these little paper packs that I actually just recently got, for my birthday. Miss Shelley, she is a dear friend of mine, so she was just the sweetest person on the planet and sent me some more beautiful paper goodness for my birthday, and so I added that to the box and the challenge as well. I really loved the bottom left with the dictionary page and then the definition page. I do believe it's French, I'm not sure. But I love the word. It means to teach or to learn, which I thought was very appropriate because I am now a teacher, as every other parent in the world right now who has to teach their kids from home right now. I know my husband and I are loving it and struggling with it for sure. We both love being able to see how intelligent our children really are. We don't get to see that directly because they usually do all of their schooling at school. So being able to see how intelligent they really are and how quickly they pick up on things has really been a treat. But I won't lie, having two babies in the house who need your attention 100% of the time, does make things pretty difficult. So my husband has started to stay home in the mornings, and then once the school is finished, then he goes into work around noon every day. So that's really nice to be able to have him in the mornings. We get to have breakfast, and oh, I just love it. Also, I kind of like having a break from like one or the other. If I do the schooling, then he's with the babies, so I get a break from the babies, and vice versa. It's just really nice to be able to start your day off like that, where it's not as stressful. So I'm trying desperately to use this wax paper, and I loved the texture. I love the sound that it made. I love the color and the crinkliness. I loved everything about it, and I wanted to kind of stick it right in the centerfold of this page right here and kind of work my way out with the embellishments. Unfortunately, it fails miserably, and I actually do leave that footage in so that you can see how it fails right on screen and my recovery. I don't spend too much time overthinking things. You can see I just put the box in front of me and just started pulling supplies that I loved. What I usually start with is a base, a bigger piece, a more prominent, dominant piece of paper to kind of layer my things on top of, or kind of get an idea of the color story I want to have for that particular page or whatever theme. And for this, I wanted this wax paper to be my base, and the adhesive just does not stick to it. I used double-sided sticky tape because I thought it would be the best option. I knew a liquid would not stick to it because it's waxed. I knew the tape runner probably wouldn't stick to it because it's not very strong. And I knew the glue stick, again, wouldn't stick because once it dried, it would just peel right off. And so I thought my best option was the super strong double-sided sticky tape, but unfortunately, the same as the tape runner, it just stuck to the paper and not the waxed paper. So I'm gonna have to think of a different way that I can use to layer that, maybe staple it or sew it. But you see my reaction very quick there. I just grabbed another piece of paper in the same color tones with the darker browns, and I just start layering. I don't think too hard on anything. I'm just grabbing things that I see that I think look appropriate, and I'm going for it. And I think that is for me, that's a really important habit to have, I guess, is not overthinking the things that you're using, just because if you overthink it too much, you're going to overcomplicate it. And I was actually FaceTiming with one of my really good friends, Sora, while I was filming this, which is why maybe you see I'm like showing things to the side there, and it's because I'm showing her what I'm doing. And I think she had a really hard time struggling. She had a really hard time like using her box as well, and she has decided to join the challenge, and I love what she's done so far. She has really, really taken the whole point of the challenge to heart, and I'm just really proud of her for what she's done. But she, to me, it felt like she was overthinking it a little bit, and I love that. But she's just so in love with it. She's just so terrified to use all the things. And I don't want anyone to feel anxiety about using their things, but I definitely want to see you have pleasure from using it. So like I said, you can literally see, I didn't edit nearly anything out because I wanted you to see, like, that orange paper literally just fell in front of me. Like, I didn't even go searching for it. I had pulled some yellows out from before, or some oranges out from before, and it like literally fell in front of my face, and I felt like it was appropriate to go with the ticket, and that was that. So just some advice: don't overthink anything, just go with the flow. If it's easier for you to pull a bunch of like supplies at first and then sort of go from there, then I would suggest doing that. But for me, I just had everything out and just went for it, and I was pulling stuff out, and I had little mini piles everywhere, and I just loved it. It was great. It was really fun, and being able to put my hands on all the supplies again was just really like cathartic in a way. Like, I hope I pronounced that right, but it just really was, it was just nice to be able to touch those things again. It made me feel close to my friend, and it gave me a love and appreciation for these beautiful pieces of art again. It was just really great. I really enjoyed it, and being able to FaceTime with a dear friend of mine who is using her supplies as well was really great. So I'm really thankful for FaceTime. It's really been a blessing to kind of have that outlet to be able to see your friends and to bring them into your space, because we're not physically able to do that right now. And I just am really loving that. Are you guys doing that a lot? Do you find yourself FaceTiming a lot more than you ever did before, just so you have that human interaction? I'm really interested to hear everybody's experience with this thing. I don't want to touch on it too much because I want to recognize this situation and the environment and everything, but I also don't want to harp too much on it, just because I think we're all going a little stir crazy and a little crazy right now. And I think the more we talk about it, the harder sometimes it can be, because it's like in your face that you can't just go out and leave and do all the things. So I'm going to leave it there. Right now, what I'm trying to do is try to find a page that I can cover all across the bottom of this journal. And for some reason, at first, I thought I was going to be able to cut this little bag and lay it across, but it wasn't long enough, it wasn't wide enough, and the flowers were actually stamped vertically. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it on one side, but that's just not what I wanted to do. So I pull out some more papers from her bento box. I got quite a few of her stamped papers, and I'll be honest, here's my honesty, they are my favorite part. I know there's so many things in these boxes, but honestly, my favorite part are the hand-stamped papers. Just because you can't buy those. You can buy handmade paper, and you can buy, other supplies and paper bits and all those things, but what I love about this is my friend stamping those papers and then sending them to me, and they're all from hand-carved stamps. So she hand-carved these stamps and then hand-stamped all of these papers, and that's what I love about it, being able to feel close to one of my friends who I miss, and I just cannot wait to get out of this funk that we've got going on right now. So anyway, the paper worked perfectly across this. I only have to trim a very little bit, which made me feel very happy because if I had to waste any bit of this paper, I would have been so sad. But luckily, I was able to get away with not wasting any of it. So I'm very happy. And it went with the idea that I had in my mind of just decorating the whole bottom part of one page. So I want to know how you guys are doing. How are things where you are? Leave a comment down below what country you're in and how things are right now. What have you picked up any new hobbies? Have you gotten caught up on things that maybe you might have been neglecting before? Are there any shows that you're liking? Any books? I'm so interested. I want to have a conversation about this. I'm just loving it. I know that I did this on my YouTube live video over the weekend. I really would love to do that more. So let me know also down below if you would like to see some more YouTube live videos, or maybe I don't think I could do Instagram because I wouldn't be able to see the comments. If I had the camera above me or my phone above me, I wouldn't be able to see the comments. But on YouTube Live, I can film with my iPad and have my phone right next to me so I can see the comments. So I like that interaction a little bit more. But just let me know what your thoughts are, your opinions. I would just love to know. And if you are interested in that, what would you like to see? What do you want to do? Do you just want to watch me tinker, or is there something that you would love to watch me do? I know on my last one I did a little bit of everything. I did some mail art. Actually, no, I didn't decorate any envelopes, but I did make some cards. I played in my journal. I wrapped an order for my Etsy shop. Shameless plug, I still have my second inserts available. I haven't done quite near as many orders. I believe I've got about half of my inventory left. So if you are needing a new traveler's notebook, I definitely have plenty of them. If you're interested, I would love to wrap something up beautiful and send it your way. I will leave the link down below for my Etsy shop just because I know some people just would prefer to have a link to click, but I would sure love to decorate something so beautiful for you and send it your way to make you feel a little bit better. It gives me an outlet to play with pretty things as well, and I just love it. Also, I have a new wax seal with my new logo, so I'd love to be able to use it. Anyway, shameless plug over with. I just want to create a conversation. I want to feel like a bigger part of my, I want to feel like I'm in my community a little bit more. And I feel like YouTube Live is a great option for that. So give me some input down below. I'd love to hear it. But that is pretty much it. I think I'm going to add this beautiful little bow using this twine. But as far as decorating the page, I am done putting my layers down. I really love the way this turned out. I was able to use a scrap piece of paper, some really beautiful handmade paper, and some washi and a sticker. And I love it. So I'm super proud of myself too, because I tied this beautiful tiny little bow like in my hands without tying it onto anything. And I was so proud of myself. And then I realized I don't have any way to like attach this. So I just used one of these really beautiful hand stamped like circle stickers. And I just put the knot like right in the middle of that. And I love how that turns out. I know it was a question how I use Avril twine in my traveler's notebooks or in my journals or just in general. And this is definitely a way. I love the texture it brings. It brings a daintiness about it. And it's just really, really pleasurable. So I'm going to bring everything in a little closer for you. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I will leave the Sora Ahsan Instagram account down below. That's where she does her updates for her shop. If you're interested, like I said, I don't have any input in her business, so I don't have any advice to tell you on the boxes other than I'm using mine. So I wish I could help you a little bit more with that, but if you don't have a bento box, I'm still challenging you to use supplies that you love and have hoarded up to now. Let's use these beautiful supplies just because they're worth it, right? So I'm showing some layouts from the YouTube live video that I did so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I did with those papers as well. And I'll leave the link for that video down below for you to be able to find that easily. It's very long, so it's a great video to have on in the background. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe, and being kind to one another. That's going to be it for me. Thanks so much. Bye.